everywhere she goes.
I love the animation.
Good evening and welcome to the Very Ann Show. Thanks, audience, for that big applause. That really means a lot. Look, before I talk to you today about who we're having on the show, I just want to briefly touch on this book, which you've all, and if you haven't heard about it, you must be living in a cave. It's called 50 Shades of Grey. I've read it and decided it's 50 Shades of Wank. I cannot get over that everyone's calling it, you know, porn, and it's erotic and it's filthy, and I don't know, maybe I'm depraved, yeah, but this done nothing for me. I was dry as a bone. I did not get a stirring in my loins. In fact, I got a bigger stirring when I saw that Facebook update, the one that said, split my sides and lick my cream. And it was the Oreos cookies. So my advice is give it a miss, okay? Because I've got a book at home called Diary of a Sex Addict, and that is filth. Okay, so today, can we just say hello to Emily Watson, my offsider? And this week's guest is somebody that I met, again, on one of those ladies' forum luncheons, and she was really vivacious, full of fun, and I actually won in the raffle something that she produces. So please, can we make welcome Nicky Plath, Cheer Gear. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Nicky is actually a wag. She's the wife of John Plath, who's an ex-Bronco player. And you impress me because you're good looking, you know, you're very good looking, you're really sort of bubbly, a lot of fun, and you've got this business together, because I won the cheerleading outfit.
You did.
Which is what you produced.
It fitted on your head, remember?
It did. It fitted on my head because it was a size 10. And you very
and I had a
kindly.
photo of that. I had a photo of that.
And I've got that on my Facebook. So, Cheer Gear, how did you get started?
Well, back when we were looking after cheerleaders and we needed to get gear, like we needed the pom-poms and the uniforms and what have you, and there was no one back in the mid-90s doing anything, so we'd have to get them in from the States, and to buy one pom-pom was like $40 by the time you got it in. And I thought, oh gosh, there's an opening there, because I knew cheerleading was going to get big. And you know, mid-90s, and there was lots of little cheerleaders working for the Broncos, and they were mainly kids, and they were doing a great job. But when the Super League hit town, they wanted something a bit more glamorous, and they wanted some women, some beautiful women up there that looked good, that could dance, that had everything going for them. So
what did you do? You just got on a plane and went to Shanghai? Or
No. For a while there, my poor husband, our whole house was just full of plastic, because I started cutting up all this plastic and making pom-poms, and they looked like crap. They were awful, but people were buying them because, you know, what else could you get? So all of a sudden, actually what happened was people used to ring me and say, we were told to ring you to get pom-poms, and I'd go, oh, I don't have any. I get them from the States, you know. Can you get them? And I thought, I'm going to start making these things and selling them. So that's how I started. And so we bought up all this plastic. The house is full of all colours of plastic, and all the schools started buying pom-poms off me, and I'd cut all the plastic.
And what about the uniforms? I mean, look,
then we got into the uniforms.
I just want to show, as it's the Very Ann Show and there is no expense spared, we've managed to hire one of the world's top supermodels to model some of your... Are we ready to show our audience the modelling of the cheer gear? Right, let's see on the monitor.
There she is. Oh, she's gorgeous. Look at those legs. I think any team would want you on their end.
So, yeah. Okay. That's pretty much it. So that is actually the standard, and you actually made it okay enough.
We were making them in Australia for a while there, and I stood behind the whole Aussie made flag, and I nearly went broke doing it. Right. Because it was just too expensive to get them made here, and good quality things. And then people wanted bargains because they could buy them on the internet already from the States. So I had to then think, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I went over to China and I found a small manufacturing company that wasn't like a sweatshop.
But let me stop you quickly.
Yep.
You went, what do you mean? Did you check it out on the net, or did you just get on a plane and get off and think, okay, let's find...
I did a bit of searching on the net and came across some people that were doing small manufacturing for dancewear, etc., and met with some ladies, and yeah, I did that. I took my sister-in-law with me, who was a classic, and she, thank God she was there, because I would have got lost.
And you actually
she kept
told
me under control.
That the lady that produces the line for you is a lady, Chinese, and you've got a really good, close relationship with her.
Yeah. I do tell her off a lot though. I swear at her and she doesn't understand what that means.
Is that unusual in China to have a lady with a factory? I thought
she's not even a factory. No, I walked into her office. It was just like an office that anyone would have, and she's got 5 ladies working in the next room on sewing machines and a guy standing there with the design. So I'll make the designs up and I'll send them through. Then they do a sample for me and I prove that, and then we go into production.
And how often do you have to go to China?
I don't.
Oh,
it's all done over the internet.
Amazing.
Email.
And is cheerleading really taking off?
Oh, it's taken off. It's taken off for the last 10 years.
You said that you were actually doing training as well.
Well, when I started, I had an agency called Direct Models, and we started looking after dancers. And when Super League wanted a new cheer squad, I put a proposal in to do it. So I used some of the girls that I had working for me. We used to do Breaker and all the Benson and Hedges cigarettes. They were great.
Is that how you met your husband?
Yeah, so I was had my agency. We started looking after the cheerleaders and we'd train them. They worked really hard. They were training probably 3 or 4 nights a week.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, that's when I got into that. And I didn't like... I'm from Melbourne, so I like the Aussie rules players. I wasn't into the Broncos or... still don't know how the game operates properly. But then I met John. I had to give him a lift. Someone asked me to give him a lift into town, and I stuck him in the back of this little charade with 50 gold pom-poms. It was his head with all his pom-poms sitting there. And I had one of the cheerleaders with me, Shani. It was quite a funny night. Then we all went into city rowers, as we always did. But, you know, the cheerleaders weren't allowed to talk to the players back then or associate with them.
Why?
Because they didn't want that whole stigma of the dating of a cheerleader and a player. And I don't think they still do. It's still like in the contract that they cannot associate with the players outside.
I suppose it'd be as difficult.
Yeah, but they could still do it. The question is if you get caught.
Well, yeah.
That's the crime, getting
and
caught.
I didn't know whether I came under that category or not, of whether I was allowed to, but I started dating John, and it came to the point where we had to tell people at the Broncos that something was going on. And I'm like, well, you know what, okay, I'm going to have to either lose my contract here or, you know, my potential husband.
I'm just going to stop you there because we're actually going to a break.
Okay.
We're going to carry on the interview with Nicky shortly, so go get a glass of wine, go and have a wee, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.